July 2018. Sweden is burning. A convoy of Polish firefighters drive through the country toward the flames. Along the roads, people gather, waving flags, applauding, thanking them as they pass. But this convoy is only one part of something much bigger. As Sweden faces one of the largest wildfire disasters in its modern history, help is arriving from across Europe. The entire country is experiencing its worst drought in 74 years. May 2018 was the warmest May on record, and July became the hottest July Sweden had ever seen. Temperatures normal for southern Europe are devastating here in Scandinavia. At the peak of the crisis, Swedish firefighters are battling over 60 separate wildfires simultaneously. Over 13,000 hectares of forest are burning in the Ljusdal area alone, the largest fires in modern Swedish history. Their equipment is running out. Their firefighters are exhausted. The fires are burning faster than they can contain them. So Sweden does something it rarely has to do. It asks Europe for help. Through the European Union's Civil Protection Mechanism, Sweden sends out an urgent request. It's an emergency hotline for disasters. When one country is overwhelmed, others can respond. And the response? It was immediate. Italy was first. They immediately dispatched 2 water-bombing aircraft, specialized planes that can scoop water from lakes and drop thousands of gallons on flames. Norway sent 9 firefighting helicopters, the largest helicopter contingent. These machines could reach fires in terrain too rugged for ground crews. Portugal sent water-scooping aircraft. France dispatched 2 Canadair water bombers and their crews, some of the most advanced firefighting aircraft in Europe. Germany sent 5 helicopters, over 50 firefighters, and 9 fire trucks. Lithuania sent a helicopter. Estonia sent firefighters and equipment. Finland dispatched ground crews. Denmark sent over 100 firefighters, and they would stay the longest, remaining on active duty into August. And from Poland, 139 firefighters and 44 fire trucks, the largest ground convoy. In total, multiple planes and helicopters, dozens of fire trucks and support vehicles, and more than 340 firefighters from across Europe. It became the largest wildfire response ever coordinated by the EU Civil Protection Mechanism. As international convoys drove north through Sweden toward the fire zones, Swedish citizens began lining the roads. They gathered on overpasses. They stood along highways. Local Swedish fire departments positioned their ladder trucks on bridges, extending them in salute as the international crews passed underneath. Firefighters stood at attention, honoring their brothers and sisters from across Europe. Polish convoy trucks were greeted with signs reading, "Sweden is burning. Thank you for helping, Poland." Danish crews received similar welcomes. German firefighters were met with applause. This wasn't just Sweden thanking Poland or Sweden thanking Italy. This was a country thanking an entire continent that came to help. The welcome was emotional, but the work ahead was brutal. The fires in Ljusdal covered over 13,000 hectares, more than 32,000 acres of forest. Some fires were burning far north, in terrain that rarely experiences wildfires. The mission required perfect coordination. Italian and French water bombers worked in tandem with Norwegian helicopters. German ground crews coordinated with Polish firefighters. Danish firefighters worked alongside Swedish crews, rotating teams to maintain 24-hour operations. These weren't easy fires. Swedish forests are dominated by resinous pine trees that burn extremely hot. The country had received only 13 millimeters of rain from the beginning of May to late July. Everything was tinder dry. Polish crews built kilometers of defensive fire lines. Norwegian helicopters made hundreds of water drops. Italian pilots flew sortie after sortie in their water bombers. Danish firefighters used their military support to rotate fresh crews in and exhausted ones out. It was grueling work in temperatures exceeding 30 degrees Celsius. In late July, Sweden received its first significant rain in months. Combined with the international firefighting effort, the tide finally turned. Fires that had seemed unstoppable began to come under control. After the weekend rains, the number of active fires dropped from over 60 to just 12. Swedish authorities were clear. Without the international response, the outcome would have been far worse. Sweden's forest agency estimates that some 600 million kroner, $68 million, worth of forest has burned or been damaged by the fires. By the end of July, as fire risk decreased, most international firefighters began returning to their countries. The Danish crews stayed the longest, remaining on active duty until August 5th, and just as they were welcomed, they were sent home with gratitude. 2 years later, the circle completed. In 2020, Poland faced massive wildfires in the Biebrzę National Park. Johan Szymanski, the Swedish fire chief who had coordinated the 2018 response, immediately offered Swedish resources: helicopters, aircraft, firefighters, whatever Poland needed. Since 2018, this pattern has continued. The EU Civil Protection Mechanism has coordinated responses across the continent. The 2018 Swedish wildfires could have been a disaster. Instead, they became a demonstration of what Europe, what the world, can accomplish when nations work together. Italy, France, Portugal, Norway, Germany, Lithuania, Denmark, Poland, Estonia, Finland, and Sweden, who received them all with open arms. 340 firefighters from across a continent. Different languages, different uniforms, different flags, but one mission: save lives, protect communities, stand together. That's the lesson of Sweden 2018.